Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Good morning, Dan, Jan, Shauna. Wonderful to see everybody today. Indeed, it is Wednesday, getting about halfway through the week, and we are once again here to say some good stuff. So yeah, we're going to do what we do every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. I'm going to pull a card off the top of the deck, ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do that, we are building into our own lives and changing our own understanding. The fact is that life continues to throw new stuff at us over and over and over again. And the way that we respond to this stuff is what defines our future. So let's have some fun. Let's pull a card and say that today I am proactive. I am proactive. I take initiative and prepare for eventualities. So I am proactive. I take initiative and prepare for eventualities. Are you proactive? You are proactive. You take initiative and prepare for eventualities. I'm going to write that down in the comments, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. I am proactive. And you are as well. We take initiative. We prepare for eventualities. When I was making this card up, I was thinking about about farmers sowing their fields, which is why I chose this imagery for the card, and how if we don't sow our fields at the right time, then um, we will lose an entire season of harvest. That a farmer has to sow their field at the right time in the right moment, has to prepare the soil correctly. That farming is a long game. Farming is something a farmer will um, where a farmer will do all of the different preparations, and then only later will they actually receive the fruit of their harvest. They say we reap what we sow, but we do not reap what we sow the day that we sow it. And I love that metaphor, because whatever it is that we reap today is something that we sowed in the past, and what we sow today is what we're going to reap tomorrow. And so life itself becomes this process of reaping and sowing, where we are consistently reaping what we sowed in the past, and then we are consistently sowing more today. The cycles of our lives, some of them are short cycles, and some of them are longer cycles. And the fact is that we our reality right now is always the accumulation of all the choices that we have made in the past. And I love that little quick comment you have there, Jan. Putting intentions into action. I do like that. Indeed, because we have to set an intention. The farmer knows what kind of a seed that they're planting when they plant it. They know what kind of what kind of a harvest that they expect to get based on the seed that they plant. A farmer doesn't just throw random seeds on the ground and hope something pops up. No, what they do is they're very intentional about selecting the seed, selecting the soil, and making sure that the climate that they're going to be planting it in and the time that they plant it are conducive to growing the thing that they'd like to grow. And it's that way with us as well, with our dreams. We need to make sure that we are planting them in fertile soil. We need to make sure that the choices that we're making about them are choices that that are going to help us yeah, help them have the best possibility of thriving. And we do that by being proactive, by taking initiative, by setting a direction, by having some determination, determining where it is that we are going to go, what it is that we're going to do. And of course, life is going to happen in the middle, as it always does, in the same way that in between the time when the farmer sows the seed and the time when the farmer harvests the seed, that all manner of stuff can happen. But the fact is that all that stuff that happens, the farmer expects that to happen. The farmer expects there to be things for them to deal with. Do we always like dealing with the stuff that comes up? No, not at all. But that doesn't change the fact that we expect it to come up, that we expect that there are going to be unexpected things. And unlike a farmer when they plant seeds, when we plant this and water the seeds of our dreams, we can in the middle of it change course. A farmer's kind of locked in. A farmer sows the seed, and then the thing that they plant is what they will harvest. And the thing is that the stuff that we plant on a day-to-day basis is something that we can modify and change to suit our needs, to suit changing conditions. A farmer can't take a half a harvest and turn it into a different kind of a harvest, but we sure can, and we do all the time when we're rolling with the punches, uh, when we are yeah, when we are modifying our steps based on changing conditions. The world is constantly changing. We are constantly changing in it. We are constantly growing and changing and evolving. When I first started my own self-development journey, I used to feel terrible about myself for not doing the stuff on my to-do list. Like I knew what I needed to do and I just wasn't doing it. And when I really took an objective look at that list, I realized after a while that the things on that list weren't things that I really wanted to do anymore. That at one point they were relevant, but now they weren't relevant. And why on earth was I going to do them just for checking the sake of checking off a list? And when I released myself from the obligation to do these things, it allowed me to fill my list up with other stuff that was much, much more important to me. And at that point, that stuff started to get done. And where I realized, that lesson early on, that my lists need to serve me, that it's not the other way around. I don't make a list and then be slavishly devoted to that list. I make the list because it helps me to remember. And then if for whatever reason something on that list isn't getting done, I have to evaluate it. I have to say, well, why am I not preparing for the eventuality? Why am I not, what part of me doesn't actually believe that this is going to happen, or doesn't believe that I'm ever going to need to do this? One of the first really major things was that I was running a restaurant down in Costa Rica that really was not working at all, and there were lots of reasons for that. But the fact is that I had basically like a plan to revitalize the restaurant after it had just been losing money for me for about 6-7 months straight, and I just wasn't doing it. And it took me a lot of introspection, and I had to take a hard look at my life, and I recognized, I was like, wait a minute, I don't truly believe that I can be successful at this. I'm just kind of going through the motions. I'm like, wait a minute, this is my life. I don't have to go through the motions in my own life. I can make whatever change I choose. And it was it was a little bit later that night when I was looking at my sales for the evening, which were $0 and 0 cents. I'm being like, why on earth am I open? This is clearly not working at all. The locals are clearly not supporting this restaurant, like even a little bit. Like, why am I just throwing money into an economy that isn't supporting me at all? And I decided that I was just going to close it down. I was going to close that door and not open it up again. It took me a while to recognize that I had been, I had been working very, very diligently at something that I didn't actually think I was going to be successful at, simply because I thought that I had to. And so, in the end, being proactive is, it's about not just, not just, uh, not just setting ourselves up for success about the things that, that we think are going to work, but it's also about setting ourselves up for success for the eventualities if they don't, and making sure that we can pivot, that we can segue. The failure of my restaurant in Costa Rica turned into the dramatic success of my house sitting business in Costa Rica. It took me releasing the one before the other came into my life, and the other, believe me, was quite a bit more successful than the first, and the business itself was something much more enjoyable to me. And so I realized that me holding on to something for too long, it was sort of like a farmer holding on to their crop, even though they were very clearly experiencing crop failure, just like going out and continuing to water the dead plants. Well, that's what I was doing. I was watering a dead plant, and it wasn't working out for me, and that's why I wasn't motivated to do it. And when I just pivoted my focus and changed and decided that I was going to do something different, and really just took some initiative in my own life and was like, wait a minute, I don't have to continue doing this thing that's failing. I can just do something that's successful. It just opened doors that I had no idea could ever be opened, and they set me up for success for another couple of years in living abroad. So I am proactive today. You are proactive as well. And so today, let's take initiative in our own lives. Let's plant the seeds that we would like to harvest later. And when changing conditions make it so that that harvest that we planted today isn't what we expected to be, let's just prepare for other eventualities and just roll with whatever is happening in life. Because let me tell you, life continues to happen whether we like it or not. And our flexibility is something that allows us to experience ultimately joy. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will be back with another one of these. Until then, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Good morning again to Shauna coming in from the Big Canoe area, Jan from your nest in paradise, Dan from Buford. Let's see here. Good morning to Tony coming in from Florida. Lane, wonderful to see you here today, probably from Rome, Georgia. Good morning, Anita. Good to see you. I hope Armando is doing well. Let's see here. And it looks like that is... Oh, good morning, Donna. It looks like Donna showed up here at the very end. Nice to see you as well. Anyways, I'm proactive today. You are proactive as well. And let's go set ourselves up for success. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, I love you. I care about you. I appreciate you. I think that you are amazing. And this is your up to the moment reminder that you are awesome. So let's celebrate your inherent value and worth. You're here on this earth, so let's make the most of it. Until then, aloha from paradise.